All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our open day here in the Malaysian Dutch Business Council Village, our online platform where we host the MDBC Connects Fair. There's a lot to see and a lot to do today. Please find some time to explore our platform, to visit the now nearly 100 booths spread over 12 halls. Find new business contacts and business development opportunities. There's plenty to do and to see. We also bring you important topics through timely webinars with industry experts. Later today at 3:30 on cyber resilience and security. But first we start on a topic which has become even more prominent this past year, namely visa and travel applications and the MyEntry platform. During the movement control order, the Immigration Department of Malaysia outlined guidelines for expatriates and their dependents to enter and exit Malaysia. And the MyEntry online system was developed to apply, process, monitor, and track applications in real time. We're honored that we have with us Puan Sabiha Ahmad, Head of Operations at the Malaysia Expatriate Services Center, MyExpats, who will take us through the process. This session is organized in a Zoom webinar format, so your camera and mic will remain off. The presentation slide deck will be made available to you. Sabiha and her team will take questions. Please post these in the Q&A box, not in the chat box, but in the Q&A box, please. Technical questions and cases might be answered in writing in the Q&A box. More general questions will be shared with the audience. Please take note that questions on personal cases or application status cannot be answered during this session, but an email address will be provided to you for personal follow-up after this session. We would like to thank TalentCorp for their strong support of the MDBC and for the close cooperation each year as a partner of MDBC's Human Resource Forum. We look forward to the informative briefing, and now over to you, Sabiha.
Thank you, Marco. Okay, good morning, everyone. Hope all of you are in a good health during this current still first phase of lockdown, but remains as it is. All right, today I'll be speaking about application processing via ESD online, and also how do you apply MyEntry. That one is actually requirement for you to exit or to enter Malaysia. All right, okay, so we go to the next slide. Okay, so for some of you, this would be a refresher information, but for those who are still new for ESD, so I think it's a good platform for me to just refresh and also to brief you a bit about how do you apply and register yourself, as well as apply your expatriate application through ESD platform. Okay, the touch points here, okay, it's a bit cluttered, but it's full of information. So basically, overall, we have 4 stages of everything, okay, via ESD system. Okay, if you go to ESD system, esd.imi.gov.my, this process also can be found in our guidebook. It's a detailed information that you can find out from there, how to apply, what are the requirements, and so on. Okay, so we go to stage 1 first. Okay, so first stage is actually for company to register. So any company in Malaysia, you must be registered via ESD if you have intention to bring in your expatriate. It's a must. Okay, it's a must. If your sector is not part of other sector that actually being processed in ESD, for example, if you are under ICT, you go to MDEC, Multimedia Development, Digital Economy, MDEC platform. It's a different platform that you need to apply. So there will be a process in there. However, apart from that, under 22 sectors in Malaysia, you will be applying through this. And for your information, this is only for Peninsular Malaysia. Yeah, it's not applicable in Sabah and Sarawak. Okay, the first thing, what do you need to do? Number 1 is to register. If you go to esd.imi.gov.my, you will see that the selection of company. Okay, so either you are a company, either you are a firm, society, or others. So just select based on the requirement. You will need to fill in some information. That is not the registration yet. That is just to get your information. So the person who will be key in or do the data entry, if you have an assigned consultant to help you out on this, let them to do that. If you have a people from your HR, put in the information, the contact person, and immigration or the system will give you the notification, the successful of registration, but not approved yet. Okay, please take note about that. And also in the system, if you notice, I will go through actually a bit about the system. The system is integrated with other agencies. Registration of company. You do not have to purchase your registration, the SSM report manually. What you can do is just to go to ESD system. It will link actually route to you to the SSM registration, purchase in there. You've got to pay about 15 ringgit 90 cents. Okay, we are not the one who collecting the money. It's actually from SSM. And whatever the database, the information will be routed directly to the ESD system. There are information that you are not able to edit. Okay, others, yes, definitely you need to attach some of the documents, especially about your company profile, about the background of your companies, of course, the copies of the directors, shareholders. Okay, so just follow the step. Okay, you will be actually, there are 6 stages, if I'm not mistaken, in there. Okay, that is stage 1. If you have any problems or you are stuck somewhere, if you see a bubble chat there, it's called as in bahasa Sistem Pertanyaan Online. Go to that link. It's actually that link available in General Immigration website. Okay, imi.gov.my. Then you will see a few boxes at the landing page. Click the SPO and throw your question over there. They will respond to you in 2 working days. If you are stuck, still no response, please come to us. You can email to us to helpdesk@myspecs.com.my as well. But we prefer you to do your inquiries through this SPO, because for your information, stage 1 at the registration stage is managed by immigration directly, which is Expatriate Services Division Unit. Yeah, so do that if you are stuck somewhere. Then the processing charter for stage 1, go to stage 2 is 14 working days. For your information, any registration of company will be decided in one committee. It's called Inspectorate Committee Meeting, chaired by a Director of Immigration and also set by other approving or regulatory agencies. Okay, this is a very important one. If you are under ICT, go to MDEX website. If you are under MIDA or IRDA, you can approach them first, get the approval letter and attach in there. Okay, it's very important for decision making. Then we will see that your company is under the purview of this respective authority. So it will be easier actually in terms of assessment of the application. All right, so the processing charter will take about 14 working days. Okay, you will receive an email notification to say that your application for registration has been approved. What do you need to do next is the system will also actually allow you to make an appointment. But with the current pandemic, you are not able to go to immigration because the counters are closed. So what you need to do is to email to them. Yeah, whatever the information at stage 2, if you see there's a statement, company signed letter of undertaking. Okay, the LOU, we call that as LOU, is a letter for the company to liaise with us as well as to immigration. Take note, it cannot be one-man show. It has to be 4 sections. 1 is the endorser. Okay, it could be the director of the company or the CEO of the company, which we actually expect the company to key in the information of your highest authority of the company, because we want them to know what is happening about what is going on with your company in terms of applying of expatriates. The next one is the company login ID, the person who will be assessing the system. The rest 2 names are the people who will be liaising with us and immigration at ESD or other immigration office, and also to do transaction. 1 is to email, Another one is for the submission, transaction at the counter. It's very important, okay? And signed by the directors of the company who are stated in SSM report. Yeah, so it's very important. Make sure that everything is complete. You can email to ESD. Okay, it's also actually the email address will be provided later. So when this process is completed, then only you can apply and proceed to the stage 3. Okay, before that, if you see there's a green box there, expatriate projection status. Okay, this one, the projection status is not a quota. Please take note. In ESD, we don't call as quota. Okay, I give you the example of MIDA. MIDA will approve the company with a quota and position, but has not identified the person. That quota can be used as long as the company is still in Malaysia. Okay, but this projection status, okay, for this one is actually on yearly basis. So meaning if you apply for 2021 in December, but you have no time to apply for your expatriates, it will be obsolete. Okay, the number will not be carried forward. So careful with your projection. Projection is to know about how many expatriates that you will bring in into the country for that particular year. So there's no such for us to carry forward the number because we want to see the trend and also the progress of the company. So the projection status, the projection application, you can also apply through online. You can do it during stage 1 or after you have completed the registration process. Okay, the first thing, okay, the tips of applying projection, number 1 is to know your number. If your company is not that big, don't put too overwhelmed number. It's a very dangerous because it can be, decision can be rejected because they want to see the progress of the company. They want to see how big is the company, how many people that you are required for that specific project. If you do not have a project at this moment, let's say you are a newly set up company in Malaysia, you can just put the key post first and careful with the 4 section, 4 groups. 1 is the top management, number 2 is the middle management, number 3 is for technical expert, and number 4 is for entry level junior. So carefully select the projection number and it has to tie with the JD. If you have the JD, please attach and put explanation in the system. Why do you need the number? Okay, and then the third stage, this is where you can apply for expatriate. So projection application has to be approved first. Okay, that is the key. So if you have any question, you can also check with SPO and ask about the status because the projection is also actually will be brought up to the committee meeting for decision. Stage 3 is where you will apply for expatriates. Okay, this expatriate is actually based on the number and also a group of selection that been approved in projection. Okay, so if you have a top management, put in the application, upload the necessary documents in there. If it is not complete, the system will notify you back. There's no such coming to our counter or our center or to immigration. All will be done via system. You will receive the email. And that's why I mentioned again about the LOU, the person who will be liaising with us has to be the right person. If there's any changes on the LOU, please notify immigration so they can do the necessary updates in the system. Okay, the processing shuttle for expatriate will be 5 working days. Okay, but I do understand there are some backlogs happening right now because of the close open the center, and as well as the number of restriction of number of our officers to be in the office. As you know that in terms of giving the pass approval will be done by immigration and the system can only be accessed in the office. Yeah, cannot be outside. But for ESD system, you can access at anywhere, at any time. Okay, so once you have received that, okay, you will see one notification. Okay, if they are outside, you will receive 2 letters. One approval letter, the other one is the collection center. If they need to collect the visa from overseas before they come into Malaysia. Okay, once they are in Malaysia, they are not able with the current situation, COVID-19 situation, there will be another stage that you need to apply through MyEntry. please make sure once you have received the approval, you must apply for MyEntry. Okay, permission to enter Malaysia. Without that letter, you will not be able to be accepted. Okay, at the airport, they will just issue you a notice for you to return back to the destination, the origin destination. Please careful with that. Okay, to do that, okay, at the stage 4 is via appointment system only. There's no such coming directly to our center. This is a new norm that we are practicing since last year. Okay, this is where the person, the individual has gone through the quarantine period, and you can start to make an appointment and submit to us the original passport. Okay, make the necessary payment and you can do the collection within 3 working days. Okay, next. Okay, this is our portal. Just to view about this, you can skip this one. Next. Okay, this is the advertisement. Okay, as you know, that government has announced since last year. Okay, but it has actually been given as an exemption that the company, any companies must go through My Future Jobs portal. Okay, this one is not our portal. This is actually belongs to SOCSO. So the My Future Jobs portal is actually for those who would like to bring in your expatriates and get exemption, or you need to advertise the position 30 days, within 30 days. So my advice to the company is make sure that you have a proper plan when you have your expatriates coming in. Yeah, if you see the position are supposed to be exempted, you can see there's a automatic exemption where they have actually put in bullet points. You can see which one is actually suitable to you. If they are not, then you have no choice but to do an advertisement for within 30 days. Yeah, so they will come back to you. For your information, so also actually all the application that been submitted to them will be presented in a committee meeting. If you need to have more or more info about My Future Job, please go to their website and throw your question in there. Yeah, all right, next. Okay, this is about MyEntry. So this MyEntry is also available at the landing page of esd.imi.gov.my. You just click, once you receive the approval letter, click the MyEntry. You will see on the right side column, there's a create MyEntry application, check MyEntry status, and login. Okay, that login, if you see at the third column, is not actually belongs to you. It belongs to ours, immigration, and also other approving agencies. Take note in this checkbox, yeah, and choose wisely. The processing charter will take about 3 to 5 working days in order for you to get the decision. Okay. Make sure that you have 2 letters. Okay, please tell to your expatriates they have 2 letters before they can come in. Right. Next. Okay, this is just actually information sharing. For your information, there are actually suitable passes that OAC from MIDA actually. MIDA has actually initiated this since last year, if I'm not mistaken. They call it as one-stop center for short-term business travelers. There are 4 categories, okay? These people is actually coming less than 14 days. The benefit of this, if you have the business traveler that would like to come in and scouting for investment in Malaysia or any business opportunity in Malaysia, you can see whether they are fit to 4 categories. Potential investors that you would like to do the business in Malaysia. Number 2 is existing investor. They are already in Malaysia, but they would like to come in because of the business meeting or discussion or expansion of the business, or business customer that need to verify or validate some product or something that actually related for the production. The 4th one, this one normally we receive lots of application, okay, a request whereby for example the factory is having a major failure, so you need to get in the technical experts to be in Malaysia as soon as possible, so you can actually apply under this platform. For your information, the good thing about this, 14 days is not actually long. So what MIDA has done actually, they have requested from Ministry of Health to exempt these people from quarantine. However, there will be a people actually following these people. They are not allowed to do other things except for this specific purpose. Okay, the charter will take about 3 working days. Okay, so you can go to safetravel.mida.gov.my, apply less than 14 days, and choose the suitable selection from the system. For your information, why I am presenting this is because we are the one actually who assisted MIDA to create the platform under MyEntry, but specific for this purpose, and we are actually a collaborating agency with MIDA. All right. Okay, next. Okay, this is additional information. Okay, I have actually informed Marco as well, okay, prior to this discussion, with regards to the registration of the company with the Department of Labor. This is very important. We also actually something new for everyone, okay, for those or any company who are registered, okay, themselves in Malaysia must be registered with Department of Labor. For your information, in a meeting of deciding for under the My Future Job, they will look whether the company is registered under Department of Labor. So it's very important. What do you need to do is just to follow the step 1 and step 2. Go to their portal, jtksm.mohr.gov.my, and register the company with the necessary information. If you are not clear, please ask them. Okay, we are actually on behalf also helping our Department of Labor to advertise about the registration of the company in Malaysia. All right, so okay, then next. Okay, with that, before I thank you to everyone, I would like to actually brief you a bit about the ESD website. Okay. All right, so everyone can see. Okay, this is the landing page. Once you enter esd.imi.gov.my, you will see this pop-up. Okay, this pop-up announcement is very important. Please click read more. Why is that? Because we closely actually working together with immigration to make sure that everyone is aware about what is happening in Malaysia. Okay, the letters that we have just uploaded in the system in the ESD website is about the phase 1 lockdown by the government of Malaysia, announced by Prime Minister yesterday. Yeah, with regards to the, of course, all the benefits to Malaysian, and but we still remaining the counters are not open. Okay, sorry to say that we are not able to open because the limitation of the officers that need to be in the office. So, however, okay, if you notice, it's a bit different from the previous announcement that if you do have a very critical urgent endorsement related to death, critical medical reasons, or you need to leave the country, or any other situation that you consider as urgent, please email to helpdesk@myaspects.com.my, or if you are the RPT talent, you can email to rptk@myaspects.com.my. Justify the reason why do you need the urgent endorsement during this lockdown period. Our team will try to assess and consider the appointment manually. Okay, but the first thing what do you need to do is not to email to us first. What you need to do is to go to the appointment first. Okay, go to the appointment via MyHub ESD. Get the date first. Okay, then only you can email to us and put in attached with all the supporting documents. If you need to leave the country, you can share with us the copy of the flight ticket. If there's any reasons because of the medical related, you can attach the necessary documents. It's very important for us to assess because we need to prioritize which one is urgent, which one is not. If the pass, okay, it will be shared actually the question with related the overseeing in Malaysia. Okay, we will answer that later during Q&A session. But the most important here is the company has to know which one that needs to be prioritized. Okay, there's one other interesting question that I will share later. Okay, so Go to the next announcement. Okay, this one is also important because we need to make sure that you are aware about what is happening in the system. For your information, I have and our team actually have a good news to you. For those who would like to renew the application in the system, you won't see that 3 items anymore in there: education certificate, resume, and job description. Because if the position is the same, there's no point for you to upload the same thing. Okay, unless if there's expansion of the JD, for example, you can attach in other documents section, okay, from the system. So this has been actually requested during our survey that we sent to the company. So we hear you. Okay, so we have obsolete these 3 items. So you have no requirement to upload these 3 documents anymore when you are doing the renewal. So please make sure if you see the bold line there, it has to be the same position in the same company. If you are changing the company, then you have to, apply because it's considered as new application. So everything must be submitted all over again. Okay, so the next one, the third announcement that I would like to share with you is with regards to the restriction of entry from Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Nepal, okay, during this movement control order. Okay, please take note, decision is not made by immigration, but decision is made by the government of Malaysia, especially from Malaysian Security Council. It's very important to curb the pandemic. So that's why any countries that are being announced in the website is considered restricted to come into Malaysia. So regardless, it's not because of the nationality, but anyone, if you are American, for example, or if you are Dutch, but you've been in Sri Lanka, you will not be allowed to enter as well. But if there is any situation because of government requirement that you need to be in the country, you can still apply through MyEntry and see whether immigration can consider about that. So please take note of all these countries. We know, we are actually aware there are lots of actually expatriates stranded in this country, but still we have no choice but to restrict, and the other country is actually that mentioned in the previous announcement is India. Okay, so these countries is actually the add-on to India. The first, you can see from the previous announcement, we mentioned about entry from India. That is also actually not allowed. Yeah, this is the one. Okay, please go and visit our website. There's a lot of announcement, latest update about what is happening in ESD as well as in MyAspects. So okay, the second part is about MyEntry. Okay, so if you go back to the landing page, you will see, scroll down there, you will see MyEntry application. You can click. Okay, these are actually the information that I have shared in the previous slides. Create MyEntry application. That is actually the section that you need to select. Okay, if you click that, okay, so you can choose. There are 2. One is more than 14 days. This one, okay, the first line is for those who has approved with the position. Okay, in JKE meeting, okay, you will receive the approval letter from the system, and then these are the people who will be living in Malaysia, depending on the approval years. Yeah, but under the OAC, you can select the second one. Okay, if you go to long-term pass, stay more than 14 days. Please, the first one. Sorry. Okay, there are also selection that you need to do. Okay, if you are actually approved for new application and abroad, click that one. okay, or exit and return application. Okay, this is the one also actually, if you are in Malaysia, you still need to apply a permission to exit. Okay, for example, if you choose this one, exit and return application, but you just receive an approval to exit, do not get panic, because you can apply when you are abroad. Okay, it doesn't mean, there's no technical error actually, it's just immigration decided that you can leave the country first, and if you wish to return into Malaysia, you can apply through MyEntry platform. Okay, if you are having active pass and stranded abroad, this is quite straightforward. It's just permission to enter Malaysia. So please carefully do the selection so that you will not receive any rejection. Yeah, the charter, please take note that the charter is 3 to 5 working days. And for those companies who are under the approving agencies, for example, you are under MIDA, or you are under MDEC, or you are under the sports sector, the decision is actually will be recommended by the approving or respective regulatory agencies. It's not like a sole or single decision made by immigration. Having said that, okay, even though the regulatory agency supported, okay, they support your entry, however, because of many reasons, some reasons, immigration might not approve, because of, you know, maybe security reason or other matters. Okay, so the final decision will still actually lies on immigration. So take note that if you are under the purview of regulatory or approving agency, you can speak to them first, okay, about the agency that you need to leave or you need to enter. But if you think that is a very straightforward case, you can just directly apply. Okay. So I think I have done with the presentation. I actually would like, prefer during the Q&A. I think our team is receiving quite a number of questions. So with that, I end my presentation with thank you. Over to you, Marco.
All right, here I am again. Thank you so much, Sabiha. A lot of information you went through over this past half an hour. Excellent slides. Thank you very much. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, we will be able to make the slide deck available to you all after this session. Now, there have been a number of questions already in the Q&A box. If you have more questions, please fill them in now. Of course, we had some other questions already before the show. Of course, to follow up on the question that was already answered with regard to the countries for which there's a stop of people coming into Malaysia at this moment. You just mentioned that when you showed us the announcements. Are there also some type of passes that are not yet allowed back into the country? Initially, there was a lot of focus, of course, that EP1 could come back and RPT. What is currently the status for example, EP2, EP3, or certain forms of PVP?
Okay, thank you, Marco. For your information, it's not really actually focusing on EP1, EP2, or EP3. It's actually immigration will see how critical is the business that need to be running in Malaysia. So that is the most important. Yeah. Of course, immigration will prioritize for critical business that being approved by MITI. Okay, that is one. Number two, for top position. Okay, the key person of the company, definitely normally for, especially for RPT talent, or for those who are holding a top key position, will be prioritized for them to enter. Okay, because they need to run the business, definitely. So EP2 normally it falls under technical expert. Of course, it has to be related with the how critical is the business operation. If it's considered not so critical, whereas you know, even the government of Malaysia are not allowing them to open their business, so meaning that it's still not critical, and immigration will advise to hold first. Yeah, they might receive a rejection. However, the system won't allow them to reapply. Okay, they can just reapply and appeal, and they must put a very strong justification, the reason why they need to come in. However, for your information, the consideration is still not actually too flexible for those countries that I just mentioned that being restricted to enter Malaysia. Yeah.
Yeah, that's clear. Thank you. All right, and still on top of that same question, while some countries are not on the entry list at this moment, is there an updated overview of the quarantine periods per country of origin, or is everything still standard 14 days? Because for a while there was also some countries, I believe, it was 21 days.
Yes, it remains as 14 days. As you know that the government keep on changing the period of quarantine, 7 days, then go to, 10 days. If you are vaccinated, you can get, 7 days quarantine period. But now government is very serious about it. They go back to the first one where it remains as 14 days quarantine. However, for those who apply under OAC, okay, the short-term business traveler will be exempted from quarantine. And for your information, happy to share with the audience here, the exemption is actually given by Ministry of Health. For your information, the system, the MyEntry system that related to short-term business travelers are also actually vetted by the DG of Health. He is the only one who can decide whether you are exempted from quarantine.
Yeah, so it's MIDA that's putting up the proposal after receiving the application. Yeah. And then, of course, it is approved within the committee where Ministry of Health is taking the lead.
Yes,
right, that's
correct.
clear. So there's either you're banned from entry at the moment, or you have 14 days, or you go to the one-stop center. All right.
Yeah,
okay.
Correct.
That's done, clearly. Another question related to the short-term business travelers. Besides then going for the MIDA platform, do they still have to apply in ESD as well?
No, there's no requirement because, okay, the short-term business travelers are not applicable for those who are having a long-term pass, employment pass, RPT, because as I shared in the previous slide about the OAC, those who are not actually living in Malaysia with a long-term pass, employment pass, dependent pass, a spouse program, PR, or professional visit pass, you are not tied with any long-term pass in Malaysia. The short-term business travelers are only for those who are coming here for a short-term with a normal social pass. Yeah. So they do not have to apply
even under the extended MCO, MIDA still takes applications, correct?
Yeah, they will do the assessment, and the application will be routed to the Ministry of Health to make a decision whether they can be exempted for quarantine. There are cases actually, even though you are applying for that pass, the short term, 14 days, but you are still required to do the quarantine. But the priority will be given for those who has been vaccinated abroad. Okay, so that will be a priority actually. So our government, we have some good feeling about them to be in Malaysia. And once Ministry of Health has given the exemption, the recommendation, it will still go to the end, which is immigration, to decide for everything.
Yeah, and of course, that's a bit of a fluid situation right now, I believe. And of course, as chambers, we're also putting in a lot of proposals at this moment to discuss, what's the status, what's the traveling and immigration status of people that have already been fully vaccinated, etc. Can there be a vaccination passport, something that is starting up in Europe right now? I think most European countries will have that starting the 1st of July. And of course, Malaysia, we're also looking ahead for that. All right. Is there a little bit more information that you can give us about these short-term business travelers under MIDA's program? What can they do and what can they not do? They can have meetings in the office. Can they meet people here? How does that work?
Okay, I'm not a MIDA person, but because we are part of them, developing the system as well as providing the information. Okay, as far as I know, number one, they will be actually accompanied by one person. Okay, there will be one person who will be following you everywhere except the toilet. Okay, or during your sleep. Okay, number two is
you don't have to get a double room.
You wish to. Okay, so there will be people actually waiting at the airport. Okay, prior to that, in the system there will be a payment that you need to do. Okay, to complete in terms of the package. Okay, what you can do is you can only go to the meeting that you have identified in the system before the approval. You can't go, for example, you will be having a meeting in the PJ, okay, one company, one oil and gas company, for example. That is the only location that you can go. You can't go to Negeri Sembilan, or you want to go to Johor because you have a business partner that, oh, I would like to go to Johor. You can't do that. It's only actually allowed for you to travel within the location that is identified during the application. That's all. And you are not able to get away, okay, from that. You will be tracked soon. Okay, we have actually had one discussion with Mari. They will, you know, give you one a bracelet to track you where you are. Okay, it's coming. Okay, it's coming.
Big Brother is
very
watching
soon.
you. All right, with GST, right?
Yeah, but
I've heard
also,
we've had a few concerns about that, of course, because sometimes, especially potential investors, they or current investors, they might have to look for new procurement. They have to visit companies. If one is not suitable, then suddenly they have to look for another one, and that which is not on their itinerary. And then if they're not allowed to go, that might not make their trip useful enough to make that investment. So
they are not allowed to do that, Marco. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's not much flexibility. Okay.
Yeah, so that's why the person or business traveler has to actually carefully identify the business potential in Malaysia, and you need to inform where are you going. Okay. Other than that, you are not allowed to do that. However, just to share with you, okay, because the current condition, 14 days, you are not allowed to go anywhere during weekends, Saturday and Sunday. But good news for golfers. Okay, soon they will allow these people to play golf, okay, during Saturday or Sunday or other days. Yeah.
In phase 2 of the National Recovery Plan, I already read that. Right?
No, it's going to be quite soon. Actually, we had one discussion with Ministry of Tourism, okay, to allow these people, because at this moment you are fixed to what you are supposed to do in Malaysia within that 14 days. But the government will expand that so that you have some, you know, a balance of, you know, work-life balance. You go to the meeting and then you can play golf. But also for other entertainment, actually. It's not really entertainment, it's actually a sports activities. Yeah?
Yeah. All right. Looking forward to that opportunity for our foreign guests, of course. Yeah. Okay, we've spoken the last few minutes about questions related to people coming into the country. There's, of course, also some questions still about getting out of the country. Question that I had myself, and also one of the audience here. Of course, once you make your application, and you just mentioned it yourself, Sabiha, is that one of the documents to upload would be your flight ticket.
Yes.
But
yes.
Isn't this a bit of a chicken and egg situation? What happens if you cannot get approval? Then you have your ticket already. So how does this work? Why can't you just show that, okay, this is my itinerary, this is my plan, this is why I have to go back, maybe an invitation from an organization, in this case in Europe. Why do I already have to show my flight ticket? Because I don't even know if I can get approval. Maybe I need to go next week. Do I get my approval in time, or does it take a few more working days and suddenly that's becoming a problem? Many times for a flight now you have to do your testing, which can only be done a few hours before the flight, especially if it's longer flights. Why already the need to purchase a ticket and upload that as well? I think that's a bit of an extra burden.
I agree with you, Marco. But in some situations, companies, okay, you will have two scenarios. One is an urgent trip that you need to do. That you already purchased a ticket, you have no choice but to purchase. The other one, you have a planned meeting outside. Okay, so as you know that the charter is 5 working days, to get a decision. Please communicate with the regulatory agencies or approving agencies if you need a support from them. Because as I briefed earlier, that if you're under the purview of respective regulatory agency or approving agencies, they are the one who actually put a recommendation whether you can leave the country or to come in Malaysia. So the flight ticket is very important to prove that how critical is the person need to leave the country or to come in. Okay, so the company has to plan that carefully. If you have a very short time or period, because maybe immigration don't understand the requirement for them to enter Malaysia, whereas you have purchased the ticket, please email to us. email to us, okay, and highlight the importance, okay. We will separately communicate to immigration, okay. It's not like 100% approval, but at least we understand the scenario. We can explain further to the respective officers, okay. It's not okay, I agree that purchasing is like a chicken and egg, but if you already purchased the ticket, meaning it's important. So that's why I keep on mentioning about how critical is the business if you want to exit, or how critical is the business if you would like to enter. So please identify that carefully. Normally, if you are already foreigners who are already in Malaysia, you wish to exit the country, and also you apply for return, the exit is normally will be approved. Okay, immigration has no restriction for you to leave the country. But coming in, if you do not receive the approval, you need to reapply through MyEntry. That's my answer, Marco.
Yeah. And that is a bit scary if it's if your re-entry is not allowed, but you already have your ticket.
We have your bag. We have your bag.
Well, maybe mine, but there's a lot of worried people out there.
Yeah, actually we keep on receiving this kind of question actually via emails through our help desk. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I also see some more questions that have already been answered by your team here in writing.
Yeah.
Can I leave Malaysia without exit permission and apply for re-entry when abroad? Answer from one of your colleagues is exit without permission is only for one leaving the country for good. Yeah, you will need to apply for exit and re-entry would be safer, indeed. But at the same time, of course, some people that want to go back for like maybe 2 months period.
Yeah, Marco, I would like to share.
Can't apply yet for coming back because it's too far away. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, Marco, there's one actually notes, important notes that I would like to share with the audience now is with regards to the situation of overstaying in the country. Okay, so if you are has overstayed in Malaysia and you would like to leave the country, you do not have to approach immigration and apply for special pass. Okay, you can just purchase the ticket and you can proceed to the airport. Okay, they will allow you to leave the country with that condition, but there will be no plan for you to come in during this period. Okay, so one is for those who like to leave the country for good. The other one that you need to leave the country and you have no plan to enter at this moment. But if you need to, apply MyEntry. There's another platform, if you see the video, called as MTP, My Travel Pass. Okay, My Travel Pass is a different platform, not for expatriates. Okay, if you are expatriates, go to MyEntry. If you are other than that, you can go through the system called My Travel Pass. That one is actually being managed by immigration directly.
All right. Yeah, thank you. And in a way, of course, that was an excellent situation. Very much appreciated for any visa that was expired after 18th of March 2020. Of course, when MCO started, I think everybody was allowed to stay without any penalty or punishment. Yeah, that still applies up to today, correct?
Yes, still, but please take note that immigration, they are not forever actually close their counter. Okay, so do aware about our announcement. Okay, once they get into the business operation, then please make sure that if you are you have an employee who are overstayed in Malaysia at this moment, they have not give any exemption. If you are already overstayed in the country, you still need to apply for special pass. Okay, but since I think for the past 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I have been communicating with immigration. They are trying their best to give the exemption. Okay, meaning for those who are waiting for the endorsement, because I know that the appointment in MyHelp is quite actually overwhelmed. Yeah, you only can get a slot now in September, whereas the pass is already expired since, for example, since May or April. So you can't do anything. The person is currently overstaying in the country. So there are discussions actually going on at immigration side to see whether immigration can give some flexibility on that. Then they can just, straight away do the endorsement without applying for special pass. But having said that, it still has not been announced officially. So everyone has to apply for special pass while waiting for the endorsement. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a very relevant and timely comment, Sabia. Thanks for the initiatives there, because we get some concern whether it's related to an EP1 that is expiring, or even an RPT that's expiring. People that need to go back this summer, whether it's for summer break or children or parents, or whatever the reason. And at this moment, again, the counters are closed. They're wondering what will happen. Indeed, in some cases, when it opens, you can only get an appointment a few months from now, which is basically the time that they already want to come back to Malaysia. But then they've left and their pass has expired, so they cannot come back at all. Yeah, so that's really causing a lot of mental problems. A lot of strain, a lot of tension on how to deal with that for yourself, for your family, especially if your life is here. Okay, maybe we've also had a few situations, and this is also coming up more and more in our dealings with the authorities right now. Of course, a lot of foreign companies have their base here, base for ASEAN, for Asia Pacific, part of their team, including Malaysian staff, technical people, sometimes Malaysian regional managing director. They also have to start traveling in the region to support their business. Yeah.
Understood.
How do they get out of the country? How do they apply and be allowed to come back? Because so far we've only heard if you Malaysians that have proof that they can study overseas, that have their approval letter from the university, they can apply to leave the country. But how is it in the business area at this moment?
Okay, like I just mentioned in my presentation, that those who would like to leave the country, you are allowed to do that. Okay, but provided that you apply via MyEntry, you will receive one letter called permission to exit Malaysia. Okay, government is not stopping people from, doing their business abroad. Yeah, it's just a situation whether you will be allowed to come in, meaning you will have one single letter, permission to exit and permission to enter, or you need to apply from abroad when you receive only for exit. There's no restriction except for the countries that are being announced by the government that they are not allowed to come in. Yeah. Also, please do note that even some countries, they are also closing their borders. Yeah. So the company has to be very aware about the process abroad, how they can accept you to enter the country. From our side, I trust that government is very much aware about how critical the business is. Yeah. Immigration as well, but the priority, if you want to exit, okay, by all means, because of the business purposes, you can apply through MyEntry. There's no restriction.
Okay, very good to know. Of course, Malaysian business people that start traveling regionally and then come back to Malaysia, they have to understand that they have to go into quarantine.
True.
That's for sure. All right, here a very tricky question. The result is supposed to be within 3 to 5 working days. I've seen a few comments coming in the Q&A that applications can take more than 2 weeks. People are waiting more than 2 weeks. So that is very tricky. So what can you and your team do to ensure that, guys, whoever applies, you really will get an answer within 3 to 5 working days, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Don't let us down, TalentCorp.
Okay, I did mention in my presentation slide that we do actually, immigration is currently trying out their best, okay, to clear the backlogs. Okay, we do aware, okay, currently the numbers are quite heavy, okay, at the immigration side, but having said that, okay, with the current condition that you are not allowed to work in the office, okay, it's a very tricky for immigration to give you the pass approval. But for your information, for the past 3 weeks, immigration team are actually in the office every day to clear off everything. Okay, of course you will receive a big delay. The charter will be exceeded. I'm not sure this one is referring to the pass approval or MyEntry or the registration of companies, but immigration does actually trying their best to clear all the backlogs. If you notice that you didn't receive the approval or decision within that particular charter, please email to MyEntry. please email to us. Okay, we will follow up closely and try to see whether that is a very urgent, critical decision that has to be made immediately. However, having said that, also for dependent pass, it's not a critical business. Okay, I'm sorry to say that, yeah. If you are applying for entry for you or for your together with your family, or it's just a single approval for to allow the dependents to be in the country, normally it will not be considered. I have to be honest here, because it's not still critical. Company can't wait, but dependents can wait, because even us, even me, myself, I have not seen my father for the past 1 year, yeah, because of the restriction of the district traveling and all around. So please do understand the current situation. It's not about the business, but also to make sure that we will live in a normal life again as soon as possible. So we really hope the understanding. The charter, yes, do email us. Okay, we will prioritize which one is the most critical, and we will highlight that to immigration.
All right, thank you. Yeah, the dependence is of course very emotional issue as well.
So it's more on the emotional part, actually.
And dependent is called dependent for a reason, you know. It could be a little as well. And of course, you also hear situations whereby, the rest of the family doesn't really have a home to go to. So yeah, if they're not allowed to join, then how can the person, the worker, actually manage the company if the dependents are somewhere stuck in limbo? That doesn't work either. And I think we've also put that forward as chambers to the authorities, that in order to maintain Malaysia as a favorable business destination and a good investment destination, you have to consider these personal elements as well. There's no two ways about it. It has to come together. You cannot break families apart the way that has been happening, of course, especially last year. So hopefully especially when people come into quarantine, I mean, there's no there shouldn't be a problem then at that moment, we feel. Okay. All right. There are more and more questions that your two colleagues behind the scenes are really typing their fingers off, I think.
Busy working, back end, answering all the questions.
Very good job by Chris and Kamalia.
Kamalia and Chris are working hard right now. Okay, try to answer.
Ladies and gentlemen in the audience, you also saw that Chris has posted something in the chat, a long message including the email address. So I think, please have a look at that. That is very important at this moment as well. The help desk support, how to contact my expats with an email address, etc. All right. Sabia, you wanted to say something more just now?
No, I'm good. Okay. Any question? Okay. If my team, Kamalia and Chris, are not able to answer in this platform, but I have discussed with Marco and his team that they will compile your question. Okay. We will answer separately and email back to MDBC for them to share the answer, or you can just straight away email to us. Okay, you can do that. I don't think we can answer all the questions in this short time or period, but trust that our team is working hard. Marco will help to compile all the questions that we are not able to answer it now, and we respond to you back, Marco, for you to disseminate the answer.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Sabia. I think most of the questions were answered already, but it's 12 o'clock. Some questions still came in the last few minutes, but okay, we want to end with the poll that you and your team put together. Ladies and gentlemen, in the past 55 minutes, you've received a lot of information and a lot of questions have been answered. Please give 2 minutes of your time to TalentCorp to answer their poll questions about this session. All right, Adeline, can we put up the poll, please? There's a few questions that all come together, so please scroll down to answer them all. This is the answers. All right, you guys, very good job. While you're answering all these questions, in the meantime, yeah, I would like to say that TalentCorp has really made a difference in dealing with immigration matters over these past 10 years. I think it's 10 years plus now.
Yeah.
What is the regular immigration matters, make it all a bit more practical, and especially, of course, also with the RPT and in some cases the PRT.
Yes.
Still some improvements that can be made, especially sometimes clarifications on maybe why applications that fit all the criteria are not accepted, not approved immediately, and what to do in case of appeal process, etc. We'll get through that together. So yeah, thank you for being there for the chambers, that's for sure.
Thank you for having us, Marco.
Immigration was always a very tricky subject, dealing with immigration directly, but we're very happy that TalentCorp is in between. So thank you so much, Sabia, with your team. Not just for business reasons, but of course also, especially sometimes for personal and emotional reasons, the strong support of TalentCorp and My Expats Center is very important, and in some cases, of course, terribly urgent as well. So stay on top of it. So
Yep.
let's make sure that we don't get those comments anymore that it takes more than 5 working days, but that it's really right bang there on time.
Yeah, we'll try our best. Yeah, we're back everywhere.
I'm going to do a poll next time that we work together. My first question is going to be, did you guys get an answer within 5 working days?
You have my number, Marco.
All right. Do you want to show the results, the poll results? Yeah, or do you want to show them on screen with the audience? Okay. All right, go ahead. You want to share them? Okay, thank you. All right, well, glad to know that 100% found the session useful. Majority very informative, of course. Quarterly sessions, some even monthly, would definitely be very useful. Satisfied with the announcement on the ESD website. And yeah, basically MyEntry at this moment is definitely of the most interest, but also detailed pass application process. Basically everything is important here. So, all right. Okay, let's make it a date towards September. We'll do this again. Let's see how the whole situation develops while we're hopefully soon moving from National Recovery Phase 1 to Phase 2. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Sabia. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for spending time for us and for the wonderful overload of questions. Very good. In all, I hope that you're satisfied with the answer. If not, again, let us know and we'll work on it on your behalf or write directly to the help desk. We invited you to be on our platform today, the MDBC Village. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if it's too busy right now. We feel a little bit, and I'm glad, Paul, that you mentioned this comment. Maybe we were a little bit like the MITI portal. We crashed. Something wrong with the server. We're trying to solve it. So you also have an opportunity, hopefully then a bit later today, to visit those 100 booths and to go back into the auditorium where you can also see this session again. The recording will be made available. You can go to our YouTube as well. So yeah, we hope to solve the problem on the platform. We have a full day ahead. At 3:30 this afternoon, a webinar on cyber resilience and cybersecurity. Please join us back for that, and especially for the MDBC members. At 4:30, immediately after the cyber webinar, we'll do the online soft launch of the new MDBC Business Directory 2021-22 as part of our 25th anniversary. Let's not forget that. All right, guys, thanks so much for spending the past hour with us. Very useful session. Good, best of luck to all of you in your travels. I think that's the most important thing right now that we want to achieve, and with your permits, make sure that we stay safe and take care. See you later this afternoon, hopefully. All right. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.